You're down on a couple of these guys that get caught out. So this is a composition that can engage from incredibly far away thanks to Jarvan. A lot of long-range follow-up as well. So WE need to be very careful about the positioning, because if they even take a step out of line, there's a heap of follow-up that Karsa can go for here. But 369, when you're against the Volibear, this is the old, well, that's old school. Volibear's still relatively new, but it's definitely been the new school, but at least the go-to matchup in a lot of situations where Jax can just take over the side lane. He ends up super, super strong.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to seeing how 369 plays this matchup, because if we don't get any interaction from jungle, he will just take over in the side lane.
Yep, absolutely. I just like the lockdown for the Wombo here for Top Esports. And what's on the line for this matchup? Now, a lot of you tuning in will be tuning in especially for this match. We know that this is the most important one of the day to finish off the penultimate day of the LPL regular season for summer. Top Esports, if they win this series, whether it's a 2-0 or 2-1, they will secure first because of the head-to-head earlier in the split against JD Gaming. They will be the best team in the LPL and will secure first seed and a semi-final berth into playoffs. For WE, they're in the first round no matter what. But with a win here, 6th and 7th seed on a different side of the bracket is huge. You could be going up against teams like JDG, teams like, you know, maybe the V5, IG, right? Or Suning, a weakened lower seed in quarterfinals/semis. It's important for WE and important to show their form running into playoffs here as we head into what is my favorite matchup to finish off the split. That's a lie. I've got more tomorrow. One of my favorite matchups of today, of course. Well, thank you to the Gyro from Heartbeat Warning. I like that name. That's a very fun username. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Summoners Rift. Top Esports and WE, two confirmed playoff teams, but in very different situations. Ladies and gentlemen, also, if you are an IG fan, you want Top Esports to lose here. Because if Top Esports lose and IG win tomorrow against Vici, IG will clench top 2. As well, if you're a JDG fan, Top Esports losing here means JDG will, no matter what, confirm first. So there is a lot on the line for this one. As Sir, welcome to Summoners Rift. I don't know if anyone's welcomed you today. If not, they've been very rude. But
just a slide dig at Munchables.
Yeah. Did he welcome you?
He did.
Okay, good. All right. Otherwise, I'll take this headset off and I'll travel so far. But look, we have very unique comps, and I think we've moved into 10-15 quite comfortably. We've seen new champions, but we've also seen a lot of this bottom lane from Top Esports in the form of the Caitlyn Deluxe, which just has so much range damage.
The biggest gripe I have with this, though, is that we've been seeing the wrong build from Caitlyn. So we have been seeing a lot of these Zeals still being built. That's not the way you go anymore. It's all about the double BF items, if not triple BF items. So we're looking to see what JackeyLove decides to go with here, but either way, very aggressive bot lane for Top Esports, where you're looking to play at range, especially against missing. But here, when you've got the Lux poke and you've got that Caitlyn poke, things can be kind of difficult for missing. Jiumeng, though, with that volley, can look to respond quite well.
This is a nice little, trip around the bend for 369 following Morgan. Just coming back to your bottom lane as we start this game off, it'll be really interesting to see jungle intervention coming through here, because as we talked about, JackeyLove and yuyanjia have had a really weak laning phase, while for WE, Jiumeng and Missing getting set up.
Yeah, they already know. JackeyLove and yuyanjia want to shove this wave. They want to start taking down the tower.
And the binding was set out. Here's the flash play onto JackeyLove. Ignites, drop down. beishang in a great position. Exhausted down. Jiumeng flashes as well. JackeyLove does it late, but end of the line with a better damage and phase rush. The follow through. yuyanjia needs one more hit. Flashes himself. Jiumeng sends out the volley. And WE are on the board first.
And this is what we talked about. This is how you play against Top Esports. This team struggles against early aggression, and WE, the level 2 gank from beishang, allows Jiumeng and Missing to get themselves a kill.
And guess what part of the map was punished first again, just like the E-Stars series, the weakest part in yuyanjia and JackeyLove. A weak bottom lane is not a good bottom lane at this point.
And since that V5 series, we've actually seen Karsa try to play more towards the bottom lane. He's looking at mid at the moment with Teacherma pushing aggressively.
He's going to go in for a bit of a ward. Might get auto-attacked here. The flag and drag is immediately there, but gets the shield, the focused resolve as well, and just walks away with beishang on the wing. Now going to get spotted out. Smokescreen, great position. Knight has the flash. Pathing not great, and the flag and drag not available for a little bit. is actually up now. I apologize. Karsa comes over, but it is stolen and secured. Maybe just secured by beishang.
But he can go and get another one if he wants to. He's trying to run towards that top side. Know the Karsa's low. Teacherma teleporting in, but 369 is trying to nick that away, or at least set up for a play onto beishang as he goes towards the second scuttle.
Pings are getting put down. Teacherma and beishang both level 4. 369 the same. Karsa at half health and Morgan running down could foil the plans. Teacherma will get the slowdown here and the flag and drag to disengage. Top Esports are getting out-muscled here in this early game so far.
And this is where they're entering into WE's speciality, playing around beishang. You can't come into WE's arena and expect to come out unscathed.
Yep.
They end up forced back, they end up unhealthy. It means that Karsa now will have to reset. We'll still be able to move towards his top side. It's not like he's putting him on the back foot at all, but it's still beishang who's managed to pick up both of these scuttles. Now cleared his Raptors, he'll be able to back and come out onto the map once again with a little bit more in the tank than Karsa does.
We're looking at a 5 CS lead here for beishang, who's backed away with Chilling Smite and a Longsword. Skirmishing Smite. Karsa only with the skirmishes and a level down at this point in the game as missing comes close. Unfortunately, whenever he misses, his name gets a little bit funnier. This game, we should be talking about how we're setting up, Dagda. I know you're pointing at the screen. What are you about to tell me?
I just wanted to highlight the way that this matchup is going. You can see the back and forth there. When the volley comes out from Jiumeng, that's the opportunity for JackeyLove and yuyanjia to go aggressive. So it's all about using that volley as Ashe to try and keep them at range, push back against Caitlyn. But once... Oh, hang on.
He stepped on a trap. Break your mama's back onto yuyanjia. The flay forward. yuyanjia takes a bit of help, but the trade-off from JackeyLove is quite nice, and Jiumeng at half himself. Worthwhile considering he's the 80 carry.
We'll draw the attention of both junglers though. beishang will run into Karsa in the bush here.
Remember, he has the longsword over Karsa. As he gets spotted out, Karsa backs away with his popsicle in the air. I have to say the most ridiculous skin so far in League of Legends is this.
Is it a giant
popsicle?
Or an umbrella? Is it an umbrella?
No, it's
a folded umbrella.
Is it?
It's an umbrella that's just
no, it's a
forced down.
It's got to be a popsicle. it's red. Oh, I don't know. It could be both. As 369 with a good trade here. Sky Splitter comes down and 369 says, "It's my time to shine with the God stuff." Or, no, the Ancient Kingdoms Jax is good trade back from Morgan, but Counter-Strike almost up and available, I believe. Morgan gets hit pretty hard, backs away himself, and 369 secures the lane push.
Need to see at least a little bit of a pressure up here, though, coming through from both junglers. I'm expecting, actually, Karsa, as you can see now, he's going to back away, try and get up towards this top side, and at least help 369 in shoving in here and using the advantage, but it's beishang who started up this dragon. There is multiple members from Top Esports moving across here. They don't have control of mid lane.
Junglers both the same level. yuyanjia lays down a bit of poke himself. JackeyLove is walking forward as Jiumeng puts him down to a quarter. But that's fine, because Top Esports actually move into the pit and push him off.
And this actually helps massively for WE moving forward, because the way that Top Esports want to play is having JackeyLove and yuyanjia shoving these waves, get turret plates, get this advantage for themselves, get a nice back on a BF sword, which we have seen from JackeyLove right now, and try and continue that. Then you can rotate towards top side, continue this shove and aggression continuously. The issue, though, is when you're against something like an Ashe, she can push back just as well, and then you're not able to get this snowball rolling. And picks like Ashe that just spike so well off of just one item like the Blade of the Rune King and have that big impactful ultimate can do a lot more in these early game skirmishes, in these mid-game skirmishes, and that's where WE are looking to shine. They have got a super strong composition that comes online at that 20-minute mark between beishang and also Jiumeng on this Ashe, with Karma empowering both of these carries. So when you're looking at Top Esports, they're the ones that want to be taking this game a little bit slower, trying to use the lane pressure from JackeyLove, the lane pressure from 369, but unfortunately for them, beishang is getting control of this jungle matchup, and Karsa hasn't been able to have an impact. But we need to see something coming through from Karsa to stop this slow bleed that's going towards them.
I'll be super curious as to when we get around those first couple of objectives. Now that we're hitting the level 6 point, when you talk about Orianna, Jax, you know, we've got Karsa on his Cataclysm. When that comes up, there's a lot of layered wombo that can come down and kind of disrupt WE. So playmaking ability for Top Esports is definitely here in game number 1.
That's not, I have no doubt that this is going to hit like a truck when we get to those later game portions. When you've got those 3 items on tonight, you got 3 items on JackeyLove, beishang isn't taking Karsa out of his jungle, but and even 369, I mean, you can even look at the Counter-Strike as follow-up to that engage. You've got a lot of opportunities to actually use this combo to enable 5v5. The issue is you need time for that to come online, and beishang as you can see, invading here with Missing, giving the WE standard of getting off to these early game starts, getting these invades off, solidifying these early leads, and stopping Top Esports from getting to that later game portion.
Karsa just has to watch and take away his Krugs. I've noticed it is an umbrella. I have to apologize, ladies and gentlemen. An umbrella that looks like a popsicle.
I do want a popsicle that big.
Oh, I mean, I should stop. Popsicle's not the word we use in Australia. It's a bloody ice block.
Ice block?
It's an ice block. All right? Popsicle.
That just sounds like you've left the freezer on for too long and there's an ice block in the freezer.
No. It's an ice block. And then, you know, don't people call ice block? They call eskies ice blocks. You know what an esky is? You go to the beach. You put beer in the esky.
Oh, those things. Yeah.
Yeah, they call them like, I think in New Zealand they call them chili bins.
Yeah,
which
I
is
know
just even worse. A bin. Rubbish goes in the bin. Beer does not go in the bin. Beer goes in
the belly.
In the belly. That is why gym every day has tried to be my goal. We'll look towards topside here. It's going to be the start of the Rift Herald, actually quite early. Beishang has to move into the pit. He's bringing the rest of WE in though as the Chanakos arrow flies up, hits 369, but Smite secures. Long range engage set up. And WE set up themselves. Two-man shockwave for the disengage while Karsa has to flash over the wall. But WE aren't done yet.
And you can see that they've already moved Jiumeng and Missing into this mid lane. So now WE are just going to try and answer for the plates. The issue is JackeyLove is going to hit harder in this bottom side. He's already cleared one of those turret plates. So when this trade is coming through, although the kill went over towards WE, the actual gold kind of even.
Yeah.
Well, once that Rift Herald comes down and actually gets some gold towards Top Esports.
You did talk about WE, you know, how they evaluate this early game. Of course, they do have a gold lead due to that first blood, due to the kill that's come across. As well with the Infernal Dragon in their back pocket, with a Cloud coming up in a minute 40. And we're looking across the board while Top Esports are doing well in the CS department. You still have that Ashe with a kill who just picked up an assist. So things for WE have looked controlled so far, apart from missing that last objective.
There's also a bit more that I want to add onto the scaling option from Top Esports, because if you look at yuyanjia, he's going to be going towards the art sensor, though. Might hang on for
Jiumeng
just a
is
moment.
sticking around. Dark Passage confidence right there. But will we see a dive? No, Jarvan's not here. But Dag, do you get your turret plating? Yeah,
this is what JackeyLove and yuyanjia want to be able to do. There's the poke that comes through. But with no Vamp Scepter picked up by Jiumeng, this actually sticks. So Jiumeng has opted for the boots, which means that then he can't actually trade as effectively against JackeyLove. But here we go. Knight and Karsa trying to answer, or at least double down on top of this play in the bot side.
Well, Rift Herald might share the gold around. It's a communal meal here for Top Esports. It's almost as good as having hot cod. No, I don't want hot fish with the lads. Missing trying to send out the death sentence to predict. Rift Herald charges in and first turret of the game nice and early for Top Esports as soon as this comes down, but it's not because they're baited in. Two-man shockwave's great, but Karsa's dead before he can cataclysm down. The light binding on top of the big beam will not get the kill, and Top Esports still running in. This turret will drop. They had to sacrifice their jungler to do it.
But the thing is, the gold is still remaining even, and that's the important part. Even though WE are still getting kills back, it's not as clean from Top Esports as they would have liked. It's still them getting their game plan, at least in the early game, up and running. Karsa facilitating JackeyLove and yuyanjia. They get the turret. Now it's rotate, rinse, and repeat. Play through this top side. I was curious to see if they would actually hold on to play through Cloud Dragon first before rotating JackeyLove and yuyanjia towards this top side, but it looks like they're happy to forego it. I don't mind that too much, because honestly, for Top Esports, the likes of the Ocean Dragon or that Mountain Dragon that's going to spawn, are going to be so much stronger than this Cloud Dragon. So getting a head start onto this tower taking makes so much more sense. And I mean, who's going to try and defend against this? You got Morgan up here. He's got no TP and actually might run into 369 by accident.
Hey, the boys going at it once again. Counter-Strike's going to be coming down. Sky Splitter crucial for the trading, but the shield comes in after the fact as 369 has done well, but Jiumeng is going to help out. He's locked on down the shield. Given over thanks to yuyanjia, who locks down the light binding. The beam flies, and ace in the hole. It's the mouth, unfortunately, and now you got a toothache as Morgan is running for his life with no mana, no health, and so many worries. Top Esports with their first kill of the game. They'll take the red buff too.
And Jiumeng was the one who had to defend top turret. Now you can have this Caitlyn once again move into top side. With that Infinity Edge complete, she'll tear through these minions and move in to get some more plates for herself. Teacherma, it's great you're getting some for yourself, but I'd much rather it on the Caitlyn.
Okay. Well, Karsa up here just in case anything else happens, so Top Esports angling for their second turret. We're going to have a lot of turret plating shared across this game, number one. For Top Esports, I think they'll find the majority of it. At least this next one to go down as Jiumeng and Missing, sending the enchant across the arrow. That hits JackeyLove, but not going to be much until Missing lands the hook. Engage? No. Doesn't go in with the death sentence, and yuyanjia just angling for another ultimate again.
And again, JackeyLove picks up more turret plating. So when we actually do look at the gold and how much has been invested by these 280 carries, you've got an already been finished Infinity Edge. You've just got Jiumeng who's come back onto the map. He hasn't finished his Blade of the Rune King. Does have the Cole, which is going to help out with some of the gold that's gone over towards JackeyLove. But honestly, this Caitlyn is absolutely massive. The Chaos Crucible completed from yuyanjia, I thought he would just run straight towards the Ardent Sensor because you've got so many members that are enabled by it. You've got, obviously, JackeyLove. Karsa does well with the Ardent Sensor. Plus 369 as well. This Jack's wailing on you with that Ardent Sensor buff. There's so many targets that yuyanjia can use that Ardent Sensor to buff.
A couple of kills and change for JackeyLove just off turret plating feels pretty good. Teacherma 560 himself, so he will be rushing towards this Ardent and Athene's 2 items, free 15 minutes, even for a Karma mid with the cheap build. That feels pretty good itself when you have beishang and Jiumeng who are going to be pumping out this damage. So with double 80 carry, we'll see. As yuyanjia might be caught on hand here. Dark Passage brings in the lads. It's flashing over from the box. Slow down here with the Inner Fire Mantra. But even with Ignite, yuyanjia survives. That's a pretty squishy Lux, but unfortunately not enough damage.
It makes me sad, though, looking at JackeyLove's build. He's got another dagger, which means he's going towards his eel. Well, I suppose still could go towards the Storm Razors, but honestly, I would rather... We've seen a couple of LPL 80 carries actually going towards this double BF Sewer build, and the reason we harp on about it so much is just how much damage you can get off in these team fights when you got a couple of headshot procs and that kind of stuff that can rip through these health bars in these mid-game skirmishes, and you just forego the entire mid-game trough that you get from Caitlyn. But when we look at the gold, you can see JackeyLove was sitting on top for a little bit of time, but still, only about 100 gold ahead of Jiumeng, which really surprises me based on how much pressure JackeyLove's been able to create and how many of those turret plates went his way.
At the very least for attack speed, since we don't have yuyanjia, who has an Ardent at this point in the game, you can kind of see, gives him a little bit more options. Rift Herald has been started, but Shelly's going on a bit of a wandering through the bush right now. WE moving into position as well. This could be their fight if they choose to take it. Morgan's sitting mid, everyone around. And pretty much every ultimate up, bar Missings at this point in the game.
This would be risky from Top Esports. You've already got, as you said, Blade of the Rune King, Ardent, Athene's already completed, Teacherma, Black Cleaver for Morgan. They are in prime position to fight, whereas you're still waiting for Knight to try and ramp up. He even went for the Luden's Echo, that later game scaling build. You're not seeing that GLP, but looks like WE aren't confident that they're in a position to try and fight for this. Honestly, this is the moment when they should be trying to fight this from front to back.
Moving into position at the very least. Rift Herald should be taken here, but WE on the top side have to watch for the smite that gets taken down, and it is secured by Karsa. Collateral damage does nothing. Top Esports are walking away, and WE have to do the same.
And Top Esports can just run straight down towards this dragon if they want to. You're going to have the quick recall coming through from Karsa with the Empowered one, but they have control of this map right now, and WE are just happy to give it to them.
Love just hits Morgan for the time being, and now we've got an Ocean Dragon. This is good timing to stick around / reset for Karsa to walk through, get the scuttle, and even make this one a reality as well. With the Ocean Soul on the Rift, things are going to feel pretty good here if you're Top Esports, but you could say the same for WE. They want that Ocean Soul by any means necessary. That could really change the pathway of this game.
I'm still surprised WE, though, aren't fighting. Like, this is a composition that has hit a really strong spike between Blade of the Rune King, talked about the 2 items of Teacherma.
Yep.
Their inability to fight towards Rift Herald, even with Morgan split, I feel like you can still make a lot happen, although I think they are afraid of Karsa just turning towards topside engaging. Now, though, they are very much set up as a 5 versus 5, and they should be much more comfortable to go for this.
And here it comes. Missing starts it with a hook in the box as well. Karsa doesn't take too much. Cataclysm onto the backline. Lay it down. We talked about the wombo from Top Esports. And for 369 with Trinity Force, Counter-Strike is a very big deal. He flashes away. He's denied them, and the rest of Top Esports are so damn healthy. Jiumeng left out without a prayer. Flashes on over the poke again. Here comes 369. It's Counter-Strike time, but doesn't manage to find it. W with a numbers advantage, but low health bars as JackeyLove goes forward. Karsa ready to re-engage. But WE kite that one back until Missing flashes on in, but it's a trap! Oh no, it's Star Wars all over again with Knight Running forward, Teacherma in the middle of the minion wave, trying to kite it out. He gets the damage down, and Jiumeng getting poked out as well. The bear says thunder, and Morgan wants to go down under. Knight will drop on down, 40 seconds on his death timer. And WE really extended that big fight.
It was all over the place. WE running every which way. The calls to get onto 369 leave Jiumeng completely separated, and it nearly cost them. But they do get the dragon. They got the kills as well. And just about WE are able to find, well, some advantages, but it's not a lead for themselves. We still have a gold lead for top esports in this game.
This is what I wanted. I mean, I come into Karsa. You know, some days I think, am I going to get OMG, LNG, right? I don't know if I was the one that cast that split. It definitely feels like it. And you go, head in hands, what's going on? Misery almost. But you cast this and you say, boys, the blood is churning today.
And you can see that wombo combo just isn't quite having the damage for top esports yet. They've gone for late game builds, and nice.
Yeah.
You ain't hitting that late game right now.
Well, the shockwave is a good disengage tool. Gets 3 and walks away.
We do have to keep our eyes, though, on that late game that we just mentioned. Because, okay, Knight has got the Ludens. He's going towards the Spellbinders. He's going to be pretty strong when he gets to the 2 items, but certainly wants to add a third. Definitely something like a Haunting Guys or even a Zonya's if he's a bit worried about people from WE jumping in on top of them, especially when a lot of the damage on WE's side is going to be from that AD source. But when you look at JackeyLove, he's going to want to get towards that double zeal as well, the rapid fire in towards something like the Runes has been the go-to for AD carries in the LPL right now. So we're still waiting until, 28, 30 minutes before all these items are complete. When we look at WE though, Black Cleaver nearly completed for Beishang. Jiumeng is working up very quickly towards that Runes. So on these 2 items, we can start to fight for that dragon in 2.5 minutes, and that's where WE should be okay as long as picks don't happen beforehand. And crucially, they can set up beforehand. Because we saw at that Rift Herald where they didn't want to engage because Morgan was separated from the team, didn't feel like he could provide enough of a nuisance coming in on a flank, and were worried about top esports just turning and engaging on the other 4 members of WE, especially with Karsa. We talked about how great his engage is on this Jarvan. So WE need to be backing at the 1 minute 30 mark so they can get towards this dragon, so they can set up vision control, be the 5 that are in the river, and then look for that front to back fight.
Let's simplify this, because at this point, if WE get Ocean Soul, then throw everything we've talked about out the window. Ocean Soul, its ability to change the pathway of scaling due to these elongated fights, due to the ability for people like Karma and of course the Ashe, right, and the composition set up by WE. This really changes the pathway again. And I'm curious here for top esports, the Dragon, they must fight over how they set up. We're going towards the bottom side of the map right now with 369 pushing in, while WE changing priorities and securing top side, getting Baron Vision themselves. Because there's always the chance to just give up this Dragon, try and bait in for a Baron, right? We've seen many teams in the LPL do it before. It's a necessity for top esports.
They have a composition that can burst the Baron fairly quickly, especially between the Graves and also Jiumeng having played with the Rune King. But
in Cataclysm, lay it down, Shockwave in 2-man. Again, the Wombo we talked about. Jiumeng is just dead, and Take missing with you. Bottom lane secured in their mortality, apparently, and now to Baron for top esports.
And this is why I wanted to see WE back and reset sooner for the Dragon, so everyone's on the map together, they're not getting picked off, separated, and with that play from top esports, they turn over towards the Baron. They're the ones working through it, and you got multiple members on the flank here.
And JackeyLove, because of the range of Caitlyn, can hit this from outside the pit itself. He doesn't have to tunnel in now for the poke down. Knight is ready once again, zoning them out. Shockwave up in about 20 seconds while JackeyLove kites his way back, hits Teacherma for about a dozen bit of damage. Knight goes forward, and Teacherma's down. The Baron is going to be dropping as well. And top esports take it all and then some. beishang trying to escape, the smoke screen is placed on down, but this is a long run.
And they're leading them straight towards the Dragon. They say, right, well, if you're going to come this way, this is where we're rolling to anyway. They force WE back. Teacherma is unalive. It's a 4 versus 5. WE looking for the steal.
Enchantress arrows out missing, lands the hook. It's right on in immediately, but into the backline. Karsa does his own bit of damage, trying to disengage just Morgan, but the fight is already done. beishang is too far forward, has to quick draw out of there. Jiumeng's the same with Ace in the Hall flying through the air. But top Esports going to get the Dragon. They've already picked up the Baron, and JackeyLove flashing forward. Is it too ambitious? No. 80 carry for 80 carry. Who cares?
The Dragon does go down, though.
Yeah.
And now we're going again.
Teacherma's running on in. The Shockwave is back up, though, for Knight. It is the trade once more as the blood continues to fly through Summoner's Rift. This is the LPL. This is how they do it. But at the very least, for WE, taking Baron off the members of top Esports is better than nothing.
What replay are we going to? Are we going to the pick onto Jiumeng? Are we going to the Baron fight? Are we going to the Dragon fight? Are we going to the post-Dragon fight? There is so much action happening in the last couple of minutes. But when we look at it, Baron for top Esports, Dragon for top Esports, all the fights going the way of top Esports as well. And now we're starting to see JackeyLove actually mixing up the build a little bit. Has the rapid fire. He's going to go over towards an Essence Reaver as well, get himself into a nice extra lump of damage coming through from all those extra auto attacks. And top Esports, that late game scaling composition is certainly paying dividends now.
Well, we start here, which was a little bit after the fact. I'm sad we don't get to see that pick off in the mid lane, but still ready for JackeyLove's moment. Wait, thinks about it, he's like, hang on.
This is what we see from JackeyLove. Every single game, there is at least one moment like this where he just goes forward and ends up getting caught out. What can you do? It's just JackeyLove things. Either way, though, top Esports still in a very good spot. 5,000 gold lead for themselves right now. They're the ones pushing in. And Spellbinder complete on tonight. If he's able to now make this combo work with Karsa, pop the Spellbinder, that's half the health of WE gone in an instant. And then you follow up with that final spark plus the Caitlyn ult as well, ace in her hole. Like, there's no way you're living.
Sitting on a ward was Morgan. 369, very crucial that he has this Baron buff. The split pushing Jax with 2 items and the pickaxe. Very hard to deal with. He's going to draw pressure for WE on the bottom lane while the rest of top Esports continue their onslaught mid.
And what do you try and do here is WE, you've got losses across the board. They're trying to get on towards this bottom side.
They've found themselves 369. He's on to 5 members with the counter-strike. He won't be saved. But meanwhile, top Esports are going to try and break this inhibitor turret. It's taking a while, though. Not enough damage even with JackeyLove. And WE managed to slow this pace down as crucial. yuyanjia with a light binding. Bit of slow here with the AWP down as well. And top Esports managed to get away, but 369 getting caught out. Now down for 30 seconds.
There's nothing up, though. WE can't really turn towards any sort of objectives. Even the lanes aren't in a position where they can try and crack their first tower of the game. WE are so far behind at this stage, and top Esports are just putting their foot down. Even with 369 getting caught out, you still have top Esports get that mid lane turret. They're able to push in, nearly get the mid lane structures, or mid lane inhibitor turret as well. Now, Baron has worn off, so their push isn't as potent, but you still have a Caitlyn who's going to be free firing underneath these towers, a Lux who's going to do amazing as well. The siege is still incredibly strong from this team.
We've got Morgan with an Iceborne second. Now, obviously we've talked a lot about, you know, how Volibear came into the meta. We talked a lot about his builds. And I've seen a lot of Volibears go into Black Cleaver, into like Deadmans, you know, tankier items. Iceborne's not something we see all the time.
I actually really don't like it. So, I mean, I can understand the thought process where it's like, okay, Teacherma is going to speed up Morgan. He'll move in, he'll get the slow and set things up. But the big thing is, who are you trying to slow? Like, if you ever get onto Knight or JackeyLove, they've already massively mispositioned, and that stun alone should give you the burst damage to try and follow up with beishang and with Jiumeng. So, going for an Iceborne Gauntlet just makes you squishier as your front line and doesn't really give you any more damage. You don't need to be the burst.
I know why, Dagda. He saw the Jarvan ice block and he thought, I'm hungry, I want one of my own. Iceborne Gauntlet is like if you smushed an ice block on your fist.
Ice block gauntlet.
Ice block gauntlet. Oh, see, that was the explanation. Sorry, I mean, you're giving me such great rational information, but it's not about being rational at this point. But
it's about ice cream.
It's about ice blocks. Ice cream and then ice block, yeah. JackeyLove forward though. Jiumeng actually might be caught out. Dark Passage used. Karsa in the back line. Death Sentence a bit short as 369 joins as well. Light Binding perfectly timed onto Morgan. yuyanjia, baby, on the Lux.
Now, maybe if he had a little bit more tanky stats, he could have flashed away. But unfortunately for Morgan, it's a 1-2 punch, and he's gone from the equation. Then top Esports starting to push in. Their siege is incredibly strong still, but with no Baron buff, they won't be able to crack it. They can turn back towards this Dragon.
Oh, this is just the duo, right? Why we're seeing Lux and Caitlyn. Light Binding connects, Trap goes down. No one moves. You know, have you ever played red light as a kid? You know, you say green light, turn around, Caitlyn Lux, red light. Oh, crap, can't move. Feels bad. Double Ocean down in the back pocket. Top Esports waiting for that next Baron, surely. And for WE, options in this game are slowly running out, but at least they have their base, right? It's like a Lonely Island song. Doesn't matter, got base, right?
True.
Important. So the game goes on. 29 minutes into it. Already loving what I'm seeing with 19 kills on the board.
The issue is, though, WE aren't the ones that scale. You can see that this is very much getting away from them, where you've now got 3 items complete onto this Orianna. You've got the Rapid Fire, you've got the Storm Razors actually is that last BF item coming in for the Caitlyn, but still, she is huge. Those crits are hitting like a truck, even onto the tanky member. Morgan couldn't survive the burst from this combo of yuyanjia and JackeyLove. It's not going to fare any better if you catch either beishang, missing, or jump.
And the logic from, you know, anyone running against top esports is just run at JackeyLove. But there's so many pathways, so many chains of CC in the way that can just directly approach you. As WE now getting zoned off from their own jungle top side. Top esports are using that pressure. They're aiming for that inner turret in this top lane, with only beishang and Teacherma to defend for now.
And this is where top esports are at their strongest, right? It's where you've got JackeyLove who can set up a bunch of traps, start free firing at these structures, make it very difficult for WE to approach from the front. You've got Karsa who can play off on the side, making sure that he can get these nice flanks, catching multiple members in these big cataclysms alongside the shockwaves. So WE trying to see if they can engage, but not looking too confident.
Trying, missing with the death sentence has been the key factor for these picks for WE so far in this game number 1. Morgan trying to jump in as well.
And this is WE trying to engage right now. They want to make a play happen before 369 starts hitting onto this mid lane turret, but they can't do anything. Top esports have such long range. They have great ways of stopping the engage thanks to yuyanjia, the traps, everything else. There's hardly any way for WE to actually close that distance right now.
And you can see top esports are angling for this pick because pick means Baron. Pick means game over. WE can't step a foot out of line at this point. But then you also think that, well, if it keeps going like this, top esports will slowly but surely just narrow into that base. And especially someone like 369 will be unmanageable. He's got Steric's Gauge, 3 items in the back pocket, and a Flame Horizon at 31 minutes in the game.
It's not looking too good for Morgan on this Volibear. Especially when this is kind of what we saw Volibear starting to fall out of the meta, was that, fall out of the meta in top lane, I say, is because he's got so many bad matchups like this, and you can slot a bunch of these strong Volibear matchups into a whole heap of different compositions. Like, say you want something that's much more about protect a single player, or if you want to play off more about...
Oh! Run. 369, that was just so bad.
He tried to flash into leap strike range.
Oh my god!
Well, that one didn't go as planned, but either way, hey look, sometimes a victory isn't pretty.
You gotta show your mortal.
So far,
you gotta show your mortal sometimes, right? As you know, he was trying to get that leap strike, you're right, but he didn't. Tentacles arrow flying out. WE might have actually found Knight. Shockwave comes in, does nothing. 5 versus 4 with Baron so low. It hasn't reset thanks to Volley. Beishang's jumping in at 2k, trying to get this fight down. It's the battle that is secured by Karsa. Only just. Beishang survives for now, kiting his way out of the kick, but Karsa gets the final hurrah. JackeyLove and yuyanjia are making their way in, but WE have won the fight, lost the Baron. Forward goes to Caitlyn Lux. Finding does not connect. It's Jiumeng versus Jackie. Death Sentence cleansed. Flash healed away from. Missing now the target. And this is over. Top esports bottom lane has the range of a submarine aiming for the Antarctic.
And they've managed to take them all down the way, because my word, JackeyLove has got so much damage. The crits are coming through, the slows are coming down from yuyanjia, and just being able to play keep away with the zone control from this duo, you can see why it becomes first pick worthy.
They just said GG go next, teleport's going to be coming through, but they can't end the game here because of the death timers. So, breaking the base, 2 inhibitors down, is the next best option. And this game, I hope, leads to the momentum of the series, just at least the feeling factor.
There is a brief window where maybe WE can take a fight over this dragon that's about to spawn. There's 15 seconds on it before he can get the back coming through from top esports. But either way, like, this is essentially 2 versus 5 for the majority of this fight. And then JackeyLove just says, oh, okay, I'll wander around here, and then I'll be able to finish off this fight. And even though it looks like, right, this is done, you've Morgan and Missing who can turn on towards JackeyLove and yuyanjia. Between the damage that JackeyLove can churn out, all these shields coming in from yuyanjia, and even when the hook lands, cleanse straight away, and
QSS.
then they just turn it straight back around.
Sorry, not QSS, Mikhails. That Mikhails that yuyanjia picked up first. Incredible. Triple kill to finish that one off. And my oh my, does that really ramp this up? 27 kills, 34 minutes. Game not over. Baron in hand in this bottom lane. 2 inhibitors broken. And while we're looking off screen as we look at the 8.5k damage, it's Ocean Soul now next for top esports. So we're at even footing, just not in the rest of the game itself. And at this point, Dagda, 4 items on big carries, QSS in JackeyLove's hands, that Mikhail's still there. And Shirelia's, let's not forget, on yuyanjia with the Arden. There's a lot to be scared of if you're WE.
And look, this is just top esports closing out this game. And even though there's only 3 kills in the difference, a 10,000 gold lead just says how well top esports have actually played so far. And
they need it to be. They're angling for the best team in the LPL. This series win, whether it's 2-0 or 2-1, would mean they secure first and they get semi-final bye absolutely guaranteed and state their claim in the summer split, in the split that leads to Worlds. Now angling for the top side turret here. The last inhibitor turret standing. This is going down. Top esports don't even care. They're running into the base and WE on their last legs in game 1.
And I love the way that we've seen the build coming through from JackeyLove as well, where we do get the double BFs eventually, but even opting for the static shiv, hey look, it's so easy for him to shove in these waves. There's not much that you can do, and even if Knight isn't around, you still got JackeyLove who can put pressure on towers.
That was a crit.
And yeah.
1358 is the crit damage. 1186 there. We'll watch. Missing walks forward, the shield necessary from Teacherma. Missing angling as Morgan comes in for the flanking angle, but I'm not sure he's going to get anything. JackeyLove unscathed, walking forward, auto-attacking alongside Knight, who's got the build-up. First one goes down, it's the next one through the shockwave waited for as 369 spins his helicopter and flies WE back to the fountain. This game 1 gave me everything as an LPL fan, and it gave all top esports hope that they are the best team in the league. 1-0 to start off the series.
Top esports.